Story 1. John, a veteran trucker, was assigned a late-night delivery that took him down Route 44, a seldom-used highway notorious for its eerie reputation. Locals whispered about strange occurrences and ghost sightings, but John dismissed them as mere campfire stories. He had driven countless miles and seen it all, or so he thought. As John drove deeper into Route 44, the road seemed to stretch endlessly with no signs of civilization. The air grew colder and a thick fog began to roll in, obscuring his vision. Suddenly, he saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. He slammed on the brakes, narrowly avoiding a collision. The figure was a young woman, pale and drenched, as if she had just climbed out of a river. Feeling a mix of fear and responsibility, John offered the woman a ride. She climbed into the cab without a word, her eyes hollow and vacant. As they drove, John tried to make conversation, but she remained silent, staring blankly ahead. The radio crackled to life, playing an old, haunting melody that sent chills down his spine. Minutes later, John glanced over to find the passenger seat empty. The woman had vanished without a trace. Panic set in as he pulled over to search for her, but there was no sign she had ever been there. His truck engine began to sputter, and the headlights flickered before plunging him into darkness. John managed to restart his truck and continued down the road, hoping to find a gas station. He eventually came across an old, dilapidated one. Desperate, he pulled in and approached the lone attendant, an elderly man with a weathered face. The man warned John about the restless spirit haunting Route 44, the ghost of a woman who died tragically on the road many years ago. The attendant revealed that the woman had been a bride-to-be, killed in a car accident on her wedding day. Her spirit roamed the highway searching for her lost love. John listened in horror, realizing he had encountered this ghostly bride. The old man handed him a locket, claiming it belonged to her and might help her find peace. Determined to end the haunting, John set off again, clutching the locket tightly. As he neared the site of the accident, the fog thickened and the temperature plummeted. The ghostly bride appeared once more, this time right in front of his truck. John stopped and stepped out, holding the locket out to her. The ghostly bride reached for the locket, her eyes filling with tears. She whispered a thank you before disappearing into the mist. John felt a wave of relief wash over him, believing the spirit had finally found peace. But as he turned to head back to his truck, he heard a sinister whisper, "It's not over." John got back into his truck and drove away, but Route 44 seemed to stretch on indefinitely. No matter how far he drove, he couldn't escape the fog or the eerie feeling of being watched. The ghostly bride's face flashed in his rearview mirror, her eyes now filled with anger and betrayal. John realized with growing dread that he was trapped in a supernatural loop, forever haunted by the restless ghost of Route 44. His once normal life as a trucker had turned into an endless nightmare. Each night, he drove the cursed highway, encountering the ghostly bride again and again, her spirit never at peace. To this day, truckers avoid Route 44, sharing hushed tales of John and the ghostly bride. Some say they can still hear his truck's engine echoing through the fog, a chilling reminder of the restless ghost that haunts the lonely highway. And those brave enough to travel Route 44 at night might just catch a glimpse of John, forever driving, forever haunted by the spirit he tried to save. Story 2. Tom, a rookie trucker, was on a cross-country haul when he decided to take a break at a remote rest stop in the middle of nowhere. The place was deserted, with only a single dim light flickering above the restroom. As he stepped out of his truck, he felt an unnatural stillness in the air. Tom entered the restroom and was horrified to find blood smeared on the mirrors and walls, spelling out, "Leave now." He rushed back to his truck, but his engine wouldn't start. Panic set in as he realized he was stranded. He tried calling for help, but his phone had no signal. Desperate, Tom saw another truck pull into the rest stop. He ran over but found the truck empty. The driver's seat was covered in fresh blood and there were claw marks on the door. Tom felt a presence watching him, and shadows moved at the edge of his vision. As night fell, Tom saw a figure standing under the flickering light. It was a woman, her face pale and eyes hollow. She pointed to the restroom and Tom reluctantly followed. Inside, he found an old diary hidden behind a loose tile. The diary belonged to a trucker named Sam who had gone missing years ago. Tom read the diary, which detailed Sam's descent into madness after encountering the same bloody messages and ghostly apparitions. The diary ended abruptly, with Sam's last entry begging for forgiveness. Tom realized that the rest stop was cursed, trapping the souls of those who stopped there. Determined to escape, Tom tried to leave on foot, but the road seemed to loop back to the rest stop. Each time he returned, the ghostly woman was closer, her eyes pleading for help. Tom decided to confront her, demanding to know what she wanted. She led him to a hidden grave behind the rest stop. Tom unearthed a small, weathered box containing old photographs and a locket. The photos were of the woman and Sam, revealing they were a couple. The locket contained a note explaining their tragic love story and how they were murdered at the rest stop. The woman's spirit had been seeking justice. Armed with the truth, Tom confronted the spirits of the murderers, who now haunted the rest stop. A fierce battle ensued, with Tom using the diary and locket to weaken the malevolent entities. The ghosts of Sam and the woman helped him, their love giving them strength. With a final surge of courage, Tom banished the malevolent spirits, freeing the souls of Sam and the woman. The rest stop returned to its normal, albeit eerie, state. Tom's truck roared to life and he sped away, glancing back to see the ghostly couple waving goodbye. Tom shared his story with other truckers, warning them of the cursed rest stop. His experience became a new legend among truckers, a tale of love, murder, and redemption. Though he never returned to that desolate place, the memory of that night haunted him forever, a reminder of the unseen horrors that lurk on lonely roads.